Brian, has things settled down a small bit that you're racking an All-Ireland final? How does it feel?
No, it's good to be here. It's great to be in the Ireland final. Uh, I suppose with a big match last weekend there against Kerry, and it's just great to come out the right side of it.
And just how physical was that on the lads? How are they feeling? Obviously, recovery is a big thing now with 11 days to go. How do you sort of balance all of that with getting probably a few tough sessions in too?
Well, that's the big challenge we have is the tight turnaround, and there is a lot of sore bodies, especially after going to extra time. But we'll look at that. We'll do what we can from a recovery point of view, but it'll probably be towards the latter end of the week before we get any meaningful training sessions.
And obviously, Mayo have that extra week on you. Are you worried about that at all?
I will suppose it's to Mayo's advantage from that point of view, but at the same time we know where we are. We knew where we were going. This is what we were facing, so we're well aware of that. It's not ideal, but we're glad to be there. Just
And obviously, your bench has been talked about so much, the impact that it's been making every time in every game. Colin McShane got 1-3 the last day. Obviously, he's putting his hand up, I'm sure, to be looking for a place in that All Ireland. And you've all those tough decisions to make. Or do you like him as that impact sub?
no, no, it's definitely good to have people like that coming off the bench. Like Cahill, he's worked very hard to come back from a serious injury, and he's come on in a lot of games this year and really made the difference and pushed us over the line. But so have a lot of other players, done the same. So it's great to have them. The Cahill, along with a number of players, I'm sure will be pushing for a starting place again, and also for places on the 26. It's a very competitive environment we have, and we really do appreciate that from the players.
And speaking to some of the lads here tonight, Niall Sludden there, I was speaking to him, and I just talked about how you've instilled this never die attitude, the attitude that you always had in the noughties from when I watched you growing up. It was that attitude of never give up, and that's what it was like against Kerry.
I definitely would, but them boys have that in them. They have that belief, or they have that inherent ability to just keep working, keep trying, never give up. And that's good to have. They come here to train every night, wanting to do the best they can, and really put in a good shift. And they done that last Saturday against Kerry, and it was enough to get us over the line. But at the same time, suppose if Kerry had scored some of the goal chances they'd got, maybe it would have been a different story. So we have a bit of work to do before we meet Mayo, because we definitely can't give up them opportunities again.
And speaking on goals, Kerry put 6 goals by you in the league. What happened from there to now? That there's just a massive difference, I suppose, just development and working on the team.
Well, the team worked together. We sat and we looked at where we went wrong, and we done a lot of things poorly. And down in Clarny, Kerry really punished us. They're an exceptional team. They really punished us that day. Last week, we got blocks, and it was a bit too last minute for my liking. But at the same time, it was great to have them there, the defenders doing that, and the work rate they put in, and the tackles and the blocks they put in. But we can't just always survive on that last ditch defending. We need to start getting that tackling done a bit further out the field.
And you're a co-manager alongside Fergal. How do you find that? Is it a good crack with the two of you? Do you sort of balance it between you?
It seems to it seems to work okay so far. Maybe other people will say different, but no, it seems to go on all right. Fergal and myself get on reasonably well, so we do. So definitely, it's good to discuss things with. Definitely, it's useful to have somebody to question or to discuss what your theories are, and take questions back and forward and bat them back and forward. It definitely does help, I think.
And as I said, you've been there, you've done it, you've captained the Tyrone team, you know what it's like. How do you you don't need to motivate the lads, I'm sure, but how do you instill that in them, that this is such a massive moment for them?
Well, these players know, and that's what they're here, and that's what they're here for. Or that's what they're about. They want to play for Tyrone, and they want to play in the highest stage possible. And they don't come any bigger than the Ireland final. And it's an opportunity for them. It's a challenge for them, definitely, but it's a good opportunity for them, really. For themselves. And that's the way they look at it. They want to do the best they can. And that's all we ask for them, is to do the best they can and be the best they can be. And they do that most nights out in training. So we're just asking them to carry that on into next Saturday night.
And for you as manager in your first year, what would it mean?
Definitely be great. It's not about me, it's about the team out there and the people of Tyrone. They've supported us all this year. The players out there have worked really hard. There's 37, 38 odd players there at the minute back in the panel, and they're all working really hard to put themselves in a place for this team, or to get on the 26. So it'll be a tough 26 to pick.